And welcome back to the channel, guys. So in the last video I did an analysis of my own game, and I was able to find out a couple of key points that I could use to really improve my game. And number one, and I think that's really important, is timing. And what I mean by timing is that oftentimes when the ball bounces on my side, I time it wrong, so I unload my shots a little bit too late, which caused me to have a late contact and oftentimes hit balls that are deep and high. Number two, balance. I think it's extremely important to stay balanced at all time, to keep the head still and the left hand balanced. And sometimes my body just maybe jerks around a little bit too much on my shots, or my head kind of goes sideways before I unload my shots. So those are the two things that I'm gonna try to put in place today. And some other things that I sometimes do, sometimes don't, on the back end is to really make sure that I involve my left hand. That is like super important, because a two-handed backhand is really much more of a left-handed forehand than anything else. So that would be important. So those are the three things that I'm going to be working on today. I would love a subscribe to the channel. That's really the best way to support the channel. Really motivates me to keep making more videos. I really appreciate all the support, and let's go. Alright guys, so we're starting this practice nice and slow, getting our mind into the tennis, moving our legs. And the best way to do that is to just start from far behind the baseline. Notice how Rob, my practice partner, is standing very close to the baseline, and I am quite far from it. And that's just to allow me more time. Allow me more time to time the ball better and focus on good technique by always moving forward on every shot.
Watch Sandaro plays tennis.
Well, that was James. He is a super nice guy and a big supporter of the channel. So I'm sure that we'll see a lot more of him in the next videos. But I know that he really liked the slow-mo that I did in the previous video. So just for you, James, here is some slow-mo. I hope that you enjoy the slow motion too. One thing that you notice is that I'm able to hit all of these balls at waist level, and by pretty much always moving forward. So standing further behind the baseline allows you to hit more quality shots more often. And so one thing that I like to do is to start further away from the baseline, especially on the return of serves, and wait for that good offensive shots, and then move closer to the baseline. So I'm playing here at Lone Mountain, and then I ran into James, biggest fan of the channel, and he just surprised me with these rackets. This is the classic Federer's BLX tennis racket. I think he used to play with it in, like, was it 2010, 2011?
Something around that
Something
time,
like that.
yeah.
James gave me that racket. I'm not too sure why, but very grateful for the gift. So thank you, James.
You're welcome.
Thank you, James. Yeah, so I got a racket. All right. So a big thanks to James. So after actually making the appearance earlier in the video, he came back maybe like 5 or 10 minutes later and brought this racket back and just decided to give it to me. So I'm just very grateful for it. And now I have 3 of those classic Pro Staff rackets, and I can tell you that I am very itching to play with them again on court, see how it feels like, reminisce some of the good memories, because I played with them for like 15 years of my life. And I just want to see how they perform in today's game. I play with something that is much lighter right now, but I remember how amazing they feel, especially when you make that good clean contact. Actually, let me know in the comment below if you would like me to do a full playtest of all 3 rackets, and more maybe like a match or a set with each, and see if I can win at 4-5. But just to let you know, these rackets are 12 ounces unstrung and a 90 square inches head size. So very heavy and a very small head size for modern standards. So if you want to play well with them, you're going to need very great footwork, and you're going to have to be able to generate fast racket head speed. Which leads me back to my point of starting from further away from the baseline, especially on the returns, right? Because that's going to increase your chances to hit easier and good offensive shots. Once you did that, once you hit that nice offensive shot, then you get closer to the baseline because you're expecting a weaker shot from your opponent. So then you'll be able to hit another good offensive shots at waist level, but from much closer to the baseline, which will hurt your opponent a lot more. And after that, if you're in the blue area, you can either go for the winner or for a good approach shot. Alright, this is another thing that I like to do while my practice partner is working on his volleys. I work on my fast reactive footwork, try to make good contact, and instead of just hitting it gently back, I try to put some pace into it, and that is just a great leg burner exercise. Alright, I'm doing some approach shots here. I didn't want to move him too much around, so I was really trying to approach from down the middle and then, come in and hit the volley. Now, looking at it, I don't think that I was actually making the best decisions because I was coming in from a little bit too further away from the baseline that I would have liked. In a match scenario, I probably would wait for the next ball to come in. So it's great to see that on the camera for the next time. The next key point that I talked about in the introduction is balance. I think that most regular players understand the concept of balance, right? To just have your legs wide open so that the ball doesn't push you around. But what I want to talk about today is staying balanced, especially when you hit hard. And it all starts with keeping your head still. So what I used to do is when I want to hit a forehand, an aggressive forehand, my head tends to turn left before I even hit the shots, just because I want to put so much body weight into the ball that my entire body is shifting, and that usually occurs before I even hit the shots. As a result, my body is not balanced and I make poor contact with the ball, and so usually the ball ends up landing deep. Keeping your head still also allows you to keep your eyes on the ball at all time, especially when you make contact, and that will also increase the quality of your shots. A long time ago, when I was in Madagascar, a famous coach told me that you need to keep your eyes on the ball and not on your opponent. Chances are you kind of know where your opponent is anyway, but the quality of your shots is a lot more important than tracking where your opponent is. And it's also more important than spectating your own shots. That actually same coach told me that some of the best professional players, they just hit and they just trust where that ball goes, and then they anticipate the next move. They don't need to watch their ball, spectate where it goes, because the ball already left your racket. So at that point, you have no impact on where it's going. But what you can do is better prepare for the next one. Alright, I'm finishing off with some serves here. From now on, I'm going to be serving a lot more because, serves and returns are the most important shots in tennis. And on the next video, I'll keep practicing while reviewing and playtesting the Yonex VCORE Pro 97H. This is, I believe, the racket that Standerman Wawrinka uses, and the specs are also very similar to mine. So I am really looking forward to playing with that one. Thank you, and I'll see you then.